Welcome back. So we're going to dive straight in and get into some real learning. So we're going to start by looking at the power of networking. So what's even the point in all this? So I'm going to start, because I know that you guys love your research, by looking at some academic research that was done into just this subject, the power of networking. So UCLA conducted 2 rounds of academic research over a 5-year period into the effects of networking. And the first round looked at how it affected individuals' career development over this 5-year period. So they took people from the same background educationally, and this one was based in the French Riviera. And the only difference between this group of people was that some had a really strong personal network and some didn't. So they followed these people over the course of the 5 years and looked at where they were from the beginning as opposed to at the end of that time period. And the difference was that people that had a strong personal network, they moved up faster in their career ladder, so they developed quicker in their careers. They had higher job security, so it meant they were less likely to be fired or quit or leave their jobs. They were paid more than their counterparts, so they were financially better off. But interestingly, they were actually less productive in their day jobs. So the jobs that they were being paid to do, they were less productive in, yet they were being paid more by their employers. So this is important because it shows the importance that employers put on having a strong personal network. It shows how powerful it can be. So the second area of research looked at larger organizations and the effects on those organizations when their CEO either quit, died, or retired and was not replaced by someone with an equally large or strong personal network. So what happened to those companies? And again, 5 years later, they found that every company suffered financially. Some companies were actually dissolved, and these were large organizations. These aren't just small businesses with a few employees. We're talking hundreds of people potentially here losing their jobs. But it's not for the reason you might think. So a lot of people think, and to be honest, when I first read about this research, I thought, well, yeah, obviously these companies are going to suffer when their CEO, who's got all these personal relationships with people that they can do business with, of course it's going to have a negative effect on the organization. But actually, it was nothing to do with them bringing in additional business. It was all down to their access to knowledge and up-to-date information, because there's a difference there. There's a difference between knowledge and information. And these CEOs who had relationships with people that they could learn from, as well as getting the most up-to-date information available. And this is information that isn't available to the public yet. Through their relationships, they were able to have access to information about things that were going to be happening and coming up in their world of business before it was public knowledge. Therefore, they were able to make the most strategic decisions for their business. So that's why all of these companies suffered. It wasn't to do with the fact that they were bringing in new business through their relationships. It was to do with their access to knowledge. They were able to learn from other people through the relationships that they had, but they were also able to have access to the most relevant, up-to-date information that allowed them to be strategic in their decisions. It opened up opportunities for them that they wouldn't have had access to had it not been for their relationships. So this is where networking comes into its own. The relationships that you build will have a massive effect on your career, but they will also give you access to so much knowledge, so much information, and so many opportunities that you wouldn't have otherwise. So if you're interested, there's a link in your resource section, which you'll find as an addition to all of these wonderful videos. And if you have a look in there, there's a link through to a book that has got more information about this particular study if you are interested and want to read more. So that's the end of this section. I'll see you at the next one.